Hi, my name is Michael and I'm an instructor in a small Danish Taekwondo club. In this vlog, I'll discuss the approach and challenges we had when we built our application-based syllabus. Short introduction, my name is Michael and I'm from a Taekwondo club called Holstebro Taekwondo Club. We are certified by the World Combat Association, just to give a little bit of background at what's going on in our club. Let's start very basic. Why would you have a syllabus? For a Taekwondo club, it's about defining goals and purpose. We have defined the purpose in our syllabus as being self-defense oriented. It's not the entire story, but that is one of the purposes. It will be a way to build the skills of the students to show a clear progression. And in the end, we want to build black belts like everybody else. Here is my fellow instructor and partner in Bunkai, Kim, who has also recently been promoted to the 5th Dan. What are applications? Just to give a short background on how we understand it. Historically, the patterns were meant as a physical way to remember self-defense actions. It was a way to pass on these physical moves in a generation or tradition that perhaps weren't video-based, definitely, and perhaps not written as well. And the best way to preserve physical moves are by doing physical actions. Today, we see it in our club as a way to create a cohesive or all-encompassing syllabus. It's a way to increase the understanding of what's going on in the basic techniques and in the kata or Tagos for the students. It's a way definitely to give more repetitions. If you go through a kata, a form, a Tago, 10 times you have practiced a lot of self-defense moves. And finally, coming out on the hopefully last time we have had to self-isolate, it's a way of solo training. Both when we are in isolation and when we don't have any training partners. Just a quick omission. If you look at the Korean Tagos, there is no historical traditions for applications. The Tagos were designed in the 60s and 70s mainly to differentiate Taekwondo from the older Heian and Pian katas that were being widely practiced in the Taekwondo schools at the time. But we actually don't consider that a problem. In the way we approached our work with the forms, the Tago, we have created a theme in each of the Tagos, and we have defined what the purpose of this specific Tago was. It's our modern interpretation. For us, it works, and we consider it a training tool. You can agree or disagree with the applications. It's your choice, but for us, we think it progresses our way to think about martial arts. Full disclosure, you probably won't be surprised, but we are very inspired by Ian Abernethy's 4-stage approach to kata or forms interpretations. You start with the solar form and learn the movements, move on very quickly to the applications. Why are we doing this? Then you identify and adapt the principles and play with the habits, and finally you try to pressure test it in kata-based sparring, or in a Taekwondo context, of course, it will be Tago-based sparring, where you try and work with the drills live. I will, in the aftermath of this video, be posting 7 different Tago interpretations from our Tagos, so you can see what I mean by this, but this will be the first introduction to this. So applications, its movements from the Tagos, they are related to the habitual acts of violence typology. It's a way to technically drill movements and actions. Every count has an application in the way we see it, and there's, for each belt or each grade, there are a few, somewhere between 1 and 3 focus applications. For example, to our first belt, we want to practice wrist releases, so we have 3 different approaches to that, all represented in the kata. Then we move on to flow drills, where we look at Tagos as a story or kata as a story. I think it's John Titchen who called this a cascade of failures, where, oh, this doesn't work, what do I do then? Oh, this doesn't work, then I do this. This didn't work, then I do this. It's a way to make the form come a little bit alive, and makes it, for me at least and for our students, a lot easier to visualize what are we doing when we do the moves in the form. Then we move on to live drills, where we want to test the techniques and flow. We want to test them with resistance. It's not all in fighting. It's what Ian calls kata-based sparring, and we have blatantly stolen and changed it to Tago-based sparring. Basically, it's taking elements of the Tago, for example, the wrist releases, and then training them with unpredictable pressure. But in no way are we training just put on gloves and go for it. A little bit about how we structured this. For each grade, we have a specific type or types of violence taken from the habitual act of violence typology. For example, for our first degree 10Q, it is wrist grabs. Then we work with the form, see what applications are we taking from the form and applying it for the drills. Having practiced those, we use the same movements and play for grips. As you can probably see already now in the applications, one of the challenges we have is that the low block is very prevalent in Taekwondo kata. So you have a lot of low blocks, and you fall into this trap that is a block is a lock, is a blow, is a throw. Having discussed this with both Ian and some other instructors, we decided to suggest and let it fly, because the thing is, it's contact based. It makes a lot of sense when you're in the flow drill. If you're in the situation, then it's a movement and it's okay. So we don't consider it a problem. Once again, there'll be videos coming up over the next month where you'll see how we approach this. The goal for this is to train holistic Taekwondo practitioners. We want to enhance their understanding of what's going on in the katas, and we want to teach them basically to solve problems. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope you'll find it interesting. We aren't all that many Taekwondo who actually work with applications and this approach. So I hope you'll find it useful, and I'm interested to see your responses to the drills we put up later. Thank you very much.